What's up, all you cool kids? This is Daisy Collins of TsunamiRose.net coming at you live from my craft room here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as I do Monday through Friday, bringing you junk journal content and videos. So if that's the type of thing that you're into also, do subscribe. I do pretty much post a new video every single day. What up, Jen? What up, boss lady? So we are here continuing on our saga of making Valentine's Day junk journals. I've been making one pretty much live, and then I've been working on the rest off camera just because it would take forever to show y'all every step of each one. But pretty much I made the inside cover, and this technique would kind of work with any type of cover that you want to do. If you want to sew in your signatures using your sewing machine. What up, Miss Beverly? And so, yeah, that's what I have. I have my signatures ready. They are Valentine's Day themed. I have my trim sewed on. I have the pockets that I need to be in here as pockets. Everything that I would need in my signatures all ready to go. Don't forget to cut open your paper bags before you put them in your signatures. But I'm going to show you basically how I sew these in using my sewing machine. I've seen some people ask on groups here and there how you do it. And this is how I do it. So let's work on one. Okay. Let's get these out of my way. And we're going to work on this one. So what I normally do is I'm going to do the same technique I did on the cover here. As you can see, this is fabric that I have glued onto paper. Then I have glued that onto the chipboard cover. So we're going to do the same thing here. I have my inside fabric. This is what I'm going to use. Ooh, this fabric is not... The camera does not like this fabric. Let me work with the back of it. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. I'm working with the wrong side of this fabric because it is not. My camera does not like it. Okay, so what we need is we need a piece of fabric the same size as our cover to start with. So I got my little handy dandy fabric cutter. And I'm just going to trace it here. Okay. Move that out the way. Just toss everything. Okay. This inside cover is going to be slightly smaller than the outside cover. So having it be the same size initially is good. As close to it as we can get here. Let's get even closer. I have my cutting mat down, the small one, so that I can rotate it as well as so that I can, I need an iron next. So I want to have, I don't want to put my cutting board, which I'll need next, which I guess I could keep using this one. I normally have a big cutting board. Kind of nicked it there a little bit. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So, let's see, I gotta do it on this side too. Let me line this up. Line it up, line it up. And again, I'm just kind of tracing it. I never like to measure anything, so like I said, this will work for any size, any type of cover that you're making. You could even do this on cardstock and make this a cover, and you sew your signatures into that. I've done that too. Miss Patricia, what's up, Miss Patricia? So now that I have my cover, I need to glue this fabric onto paper. So to do that, I use Heat and Bond. And this is Heat and Bond Light because I'm gonna sew on it. I use Heat and Bond Light because I can sew through this right here, like this, and then all these little stitches. If you're not making a cover like that, there's also Heat and Bond Ultra Hold, and I don't think there's a difference in quality. I've used both. The only difference is Heat and Bond Light, you can sew with confidence through it. Heat and Bond Ultra Hold, you cannot. So if you plan on sewing, I would use this. Let me get a link to this so I can share it with y'all so we can be on the same page as to what I'm using. I really should make like a blog post about this or something. Hang on. I know I have it somewhere. No, that one. I have too many stickies. Let me see. Well, it's Heat and Bond Light. Sorry, I try to get my stickies over here. Note list here. That'll show me what I think. See? Yeah, guys, I'm trying to make it work over here, and I'm not making it work. I know I had a link to it. It's Heat and Bond Light. If you want to look for it on Amazon, I'll get a list later, but I thought I had it. I guess I don't see it. Heat and Bond Light. That's the good stuff. I buy it by the roll now because I use it so much. But you can buy it, I believe, for 5 yards at Walmart, if I'm not mistaken. So we need a piece of Heat and Bond the same size as this. I have my big fancy ruler here so that I can stabilize myself and cut it right. Where I need it to be, but you can just cut this with scissors. It's just paper, basically, like parchment paper or wax paper. Equivalent to that. Okay. Again, we're cutting it to the size of this. So I'm going to cut all of this off. Okay. So now that we have that, I got my iron on. Let's get all my ironing stuff. Well, I guess I should have gotten the paper underneath. I'll do that later. Let me get my ironing stuff. Where did I put it somewhere? There it is. Okay. Did you paint your cabinets black yet? I actually wanted to paint my cabinets like a dark hunter green. That's what I wanted. My kitchen cabinets. No, Beverly, this is actually the desk that is underneath my giant cutting board. This is what the table looks like. And it's actually a dining room table from IKEA. They don't actually sell it anymore. Okay, so I got parchment paper here. And I got my ironing pad. It's a wool pad. Then underneath, if you care to know, I have some priority boxes. Just to give me more cushion so I don't get my table hot. Just because I want to get like a cutting board back on here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get my iron on hot. I'm going to put my iron here in the middle so that it sticks in place. Basically, the Heat and Bond is iron activated adhesive. So heat activated adhesive. Now that it's got heat on there, you see how it's like not coming off in the middle? Because it's glued in the middle. So I'm going to do that all the way around. Got my iron on hot. I was trim in the house. You wanted black. Yeah, I still want that done. But since I'm not painting it, I'm not going to like push. I'm trying not to push the issue because I'm not going to paint it. So it'll get done when it gets done. I'm not even worried about it. Okay, here we go. Activating the heat and bond, and you'll be able to tell because the fabric comes through. You can see the fabric pattern more on the back of the heat and bond when it's all melted. You want to not slide the iron on. Does my hand look a little blue? Anyways, you don't want to move your iron around right here. You want to like pick it up and move it. You don't want to slide it. That's what I should have said. You don't want to slide the iron. You want to pick it up, move it to the next spot for about 30 seconds or more. It is possible to cinch your fabric. Ask me how I know. So you don't want to leave it in one spot for too long. So I do kind of take my time with this. I do hit every spot maybe like 2 or 3 times just to make sure that all the adhesive is melted. I still have a pink ceiling in my kitchen. Oh man, my mom picked the worst colors. Why would you pick like flamingo pink for the kitchen? I don't understand. It have like normal colored trim. It's so weird. My mom is weird. So right now it's really hot actually. I'm gonna move it off camera and I'm just kind of like shaking it up and down so that it cools down. Yeah, it's a terrible problem. Like every room was a different color. I think the living room was it brown? It was brown. Or was it a dusty pink? Oh. Okay. So now what we have essentially is a giant fabric sticker. We're going to peel off the fabric. Oh, and I didn't even say, I didn't even mention, sorry. The heat and bond has a rough side. You can see the difference here. It's kind of shiny and it's rough. And on the back of it, it just looks like a normal sheet of paper. So the rough, shiny part, that's the glue. You want to add the back of the fabric to the glue side. Just so you know. I should have said that earlier. Okay, so now we peel it off. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of rip off the excess glue here. Because I'll have to take it off this parchment paper if I don't do it right now. And this is a little bit easier to see. Now I use the parchment paper so that the glue doesn't adhere to my iron. It's a good idea if you're going to be using this technique. To keep a roll of parchment paper nearby, and I always keep a roll of parchment paper nearby. Not for baking purposes, although sometimes it does help for that. But more times than not, I'm doing it for this. I have it in the kitchen for this. Okay, so I got my glue off. So now we have fabric with adhesive on the back of it. Regular fabric on one side. And I'm going to adhere it to, let me get it. I am adhering this heat and bond fabric combo to this stuff right here. It is packing paper, which, as the name suggests, is for when you're packing and you gotta put something in between your dishes or something inside your cup. You want to protect something, so you cover it in paper. So you can look that up online. I've also seen it called newsprint paper, so you can look that up online as well. You could also use tissue, just regular sheets of tissue. The thing with that is, if your fabric is sheer, the tissue is sheer, so you'll be able to see through it, kind of. And it bothers me to the point that I decided to use packing paper instead, because it adds a layer of opaqueness, so that way it's not see-through. Also, what you could do is you could make this, glue this onto cardstock. I've done that in the past, and then that turns into a cover, and you can sew your signatures onto that. That one's an easy way to make a nice fabric on one-side junk journal. Okay, so now that we have adhered our fabric onto Heat and Bond Light, we are going to go ahead and adhere that onto this packing paper that I have here. And just like I did with the other side, I got my parchment paper there that I gotta do. I got my iron-on hot. I'm going to leave it on. At this point, because it's not on its plastic backing, I can move it around and it will not slide. But also, you want to concentrate it on certain spots. I use the, ooh, I almost touched that. That's not cool. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add some heat in there initially to hold it in place. Because what I actually want to do is iron on the back, because the heat and bond is on this side. So I'm going to iron on the back of it, actually. Who was out here crying that the door was closed, and he felt some certain way about it. Oh yeah, don't singe your fabric. That guy almost did. That's so funny, Beverly, that I don't really show my desk because it's always covered by my giant cutting mat. She was like, is that on a table? Oh my God. I'm like, oh yeah, I never show my desk, I guess. I really don't. It's always focused on whatever I'm doing. And I always have my cutting mat underneath me, because it just always makes everything so easy to do. So easy to clean up. It's like my table protector. That's so much so that I never show my desk. That's awesome. In my older videos, this used to be my cutting mat, this little one. And you could see my table in the past. But since I got my giant cutting board, or my giant cutting mat, I've just been, it basically covers about 90% of my desk. And I kind of love that. But when I iron, and when I'm only ironing, I get it out the way, obviously. I don't want it to warp. Okay, let me apply some heat here on the edges. Gotta get the heat. Make sure this is nice and melted. Is that rust on my iron because I used water? I'm going to flip out. I've never seen rust on an iron, and this better not stick, because I will be so mad that my nice iron got messed up already. Oh, I've been trying so hard. Okay. So now our fabric is adhered. Okay, that part didn't get glue on it. That's why I didn't stick it. Now our fabric, I want to make sure and kind of scrunch it, because where it doesn't adhere, it would move. This seems like one nice solid piece. Okay, so now our fabric is a piece of paper, technically. And that's fabulous. Let me get all this out the way. Let me get my iron stuff out the way. Okay. Let me turn off my iron, because my iron is done. Okay. Now, my table is not hot, so that's what I wanted to put all the layers underneath. Okay, so now I gotta cut this out of here. So let's do that. And now we gotta start kind of whittling it down to the size it actually needs to be. But first I wanna make sure it's nice and straight edged. Sorry if I'm moving around a lot. I'm gonna try and make this as straight as I can. This is the only part I actually like here, to have it be like nice and straight where it needs to be. If you do like this technique, you will want to invest in things such as a cutting board and one of these initially. This ruler is a little extra. For years, well, for a year or two, I actually used my my mats from my Big Shot. Since they're big plates like this, that's what I would use for the longest time until I finally upgraded to this this ruler here, which actually has been very, very nice. But again, it's optional. But definitely a cutting board and a rotary cutter you're gonna want. Okay, let's make this nice and straight as we can. Okay, so this is our cover. This is our inside cover. This is what I'm going to use to sew my signatures into, because it's basically a piece of paper that now I can sew my signatures into. And then this whole thing right here gets glued into the inside cover. You see what I mean? And it just turns into one piece. And that is essentially how I sew my signature. I'm able to use my sewing machine to sew my signatures into my junk journals, is because this is essentially a piece of paper. Okay, so let's, I'm not done with this. I'm not done with that yet. I need to see how much of this I need to cut down. I like it to be literally just a smidge of the inside cover showing, just a smidge. So I have to kind of eyeball how much of this I want to take off. I think I want to take off 1/8. 1/18. Is it 1/18? I think it's 1/18. I'm terrible with measurements, you guys. I'm sorry. But that's why I say a smidge. That's why I use the scientific word smidge. A smidgen. Hang on, I hate this side. You see, this is why I have my big cutting mat. This, okay, sorry. I need to whittle this down a bit. Just a wee bit. Literally, like I said, a smidgen. So we'll do do that much. And I don't measure anything, so I'm sorry. I just kind of cut it down little by little. I don't measure anything. So let's place it in here. And you see what I mean by a smidge? Like literally just a tiny little bit of the cover shows up. And it's like, why do I torture myself for that? But I love it. I love the look. Okay, so now here I need to cut it off just a smidge. Just a little smidge. If you if you know how much that measures, let me know. But I just eyeball it. Okay, let's see. Get out of my way. Okay, I think we're good. Oh my goodness. I don't know if it's hard for the camera to pick up, but it's literally just a smidgen smaller than the whole cover itself. Okay, perfect. So, now I need to get my sewing machine. So I'm going to get that. Okay. Get it connected. There's 16 lines in an inch. Jen, let it go. You're talking real sciencey right there, Jen. Them SAT words right there, Jen. Okay. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I just want to do a zigzag stitch all the way around, just because I like the look of it. So I'm going to do just a simple zigzag. I'm doing it a little bit spread apart, a little bit of length, so it's not too narrow. This is the part you would have issues with if you use Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. You would not be able to do this. You'd have trouble. There's 16, so 116. See, I said that, right? Or did I say 118? Did I say 118? Just the boss lady trying to help girl out. Girl. You know I can't do math. I know a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Everything else in between is questionable. I don't know why that never stuck in my head in school. I mean, I'm sure they taught it to us. I'm sure. Just literally, I do not have the head for math. I just don't. Never have. I don't know what it is about me. I just don't like it. I just don't. Jen says in the middle of each inch is a girl, but I'm gonna have to write this down, Jen. I'm gonna have to write this down. That's a lot of words. Okay, that's a lot of words you're throwing at me. Okay, so now that I did all that, I just like the look of it, like I said. I don't think there's any practical reason because it's not going to fray because the glue stops all that. It's not going to fray. Okay, so now we have our inside cover in which to sew our signatures. Perfect. Okay, great. Okay, so I got my signatures here. How am I going to put them in here? Okay, so we need a couple more tools, right? This is a very tool heavy procedure, but I had some of these tools to start off with. Like this thing I've had since, I don't know, it's been through some things, okay? It's seen some things, all right? So what we're going to do here is we need to figure out where we're going to sew our signatures. So I do 3 signatures. Stephanie, hi Stephanie. They never taught us anything but the basics, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. Okay, so if I don't remember that stuff, I swear I'm sure they taught us. I just never had the mind for math. That stuff never stuck with me. I don't know why. Hi, Miss Patricia. Okay, so I do 3 signatures because that's the easiest for me. I'll show you right now how to do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so for 1 signature, you are simply going to fold this in half, and that's where your 1 signature goes. Easy enough. Okay, if you're going to do 2 signatures, you're going to fold it in half. That's your middle point. And then what I would do is I would measure a 1/4 inch to the right, and that's where your 1 signature is going to go, and a 1/4 inch to the left of that middle line, and that's where your 2nd signature is going to go. That's how I do 1 and 2. This is how I do 3. Okay, so for 3, they all start off the same. Fold in the middle. So we find our middle point. Since it's a piece of paper, we can use our score knife, whatever it's called. That's our middle point. So what I'm going to do is I use a pencil, and I like to physically see where it is my signature is going to go. Okay, so that's my middle point right there. So now where I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do my next one is the same way. A 1/4 inch to the right. Score. Actually, it's a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch to the right. Sorry, 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Is that a 1/2 inch? No, no, yeah, it's a 1/2 inch. Okay, 1/2 inch. Right, yeah, 1/2 inch. I'm literally having to verify what I already know. Okay, so 1/2 inch to the right and 1/2 inch to the left. Oop. Oop. All right. So, oops. Why did that one not go correctly? That one, it should be correct. Oh, it's like slightly off by a little bit, but you know what? That's fine. I'll live. I might be able to live with that. Can I? Again, since it's paper, it's not really that big of a deal to correct it. Since I just did it with pencil, I'll just erase it. It's also why I like this method. Because if I make a mistake, that's okay. We'll just do it again, you know? Just pretend like it never happened. Okay. So it is kind of hard to see on this because of the paper I've chosen. Okay. Okay. Anyway, anyways, I'm not going to stress about it too much. When I have a lighter pattern, it's definitely a lot easier to see where I'm going to sew. But you can see on the back. Oh, can you? Yeah, there you can see where I'm going to sew. Daisy, you got rusty in your break. LO, no more vacation time. You're right. You're right, Jen. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. So that is where my signatures are going to go. And now that I got that figured out, I will be back in a minute. Give me 1 minute, you guys. Okay, sorry, I've been trying to drink more water. Okay, so now we're going to sew our signatures into this cover. Okay, so I want my, I do the one to the left. I leave the one in the middle to the end. So I'm going to do opposite ends, and then I'm going to do the middle one at the end. So let me figure out which one of these do I want to go first. I guess the one with the little bear is kind of cute, so we'll do that one first. Miss Beverly, have yourself a good night, lady. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go to the middle page, very middle page, and I want to draw a line down the middle of it. Trace the line down the middle of it, so that way I know where I'm going to sew my signature in. And this is your chance to go through the pages and make sure, like this page should be up here. Make sure pages are not upside down. Make sure everything looks the way you want it to look, because you won't be able to do it later. Once it's all sewn in, you can undo it and fix it, but oh gosh. Just make sure you do it right here. Okay. So let me glue this down here. I always like to adhere my little doilies with a tiny little bit of glue stick. So that way when I open it up and I place it where I want to be, oh, once the glue dries, in theory, it sticks. Okay. Then also, what you're going to need is a piece of chipboard that measures the same size as your cover. My pages, I always make my journals the same way because it just makes it easier to do, because I already know what they're all supposed to look like. I already know what their measurements are supposed to be. And since I always like to make more than one of my journals, it just makes it a little bit easier to make a lot of them. So let me tell you how this all works. My cover is the same height and width as a piece of paper folded in half. So 8.5 by 5.5. And that's the size of little piece of chipboard that you'll need. I even sew a little tab on it so I can just pull it out. I know exactly that this little tab is this piece of chipboard. The cover of this, like I said, is just a smidgen underneath that. And I know that because of those measurements, if my pages are 8 by 10, they literally fit right inside the cover of this book right here. So all my pages are 8 by 10 or smaller. So you can make your journal any size. I've made this same technique, same sewing in of my signatures, but just in a smaller journal. And I just need a piece of chipboard that is smaller. So whatever the size your cover is, you need a piece of cereal box that is that same size. So, and that's essentially just for this part right here where I'm going to go page by page and kind of put them, center them on the cover. This chipboard here piece, that's the same size as the cover. Center them. And I try and hold them with this hand right here, kind of pulling the pages so that they stay nice and tight up against here. I'm just going to place my pages where I want them to be. Jen, you're terrified of sewing this way? I don't know. I've done this so many times now. The pamphlet stitch would make me nervous for sure. The pamphlet stitch makes me nervous because I don't know. Ever since I've done this, I've just found it to be so easy. Once I learned how many pages, oh yeah, I should talk about that. The number of pages that I limit myself to in my signatures is 13 pages. Ideally, honestly, you would do about 10. I really don't torture yourself and don't do more than that, to be honest with you. I've done more than that, and it's an adventure. Okay, let's just say it that way. It's an adventure that you don't want to be on. That you don't want to go on. Okay, so just stick to about 10 to 13 pages per signature. Okay, so let's get this started. I need this. I need this. Here's what I also need. I use these giant paper clips, which you can buy I bought these off Amazon. They're just called, this one says 40 pack, 4-inch multicolor bookmark. But they're just these giant paper clips, which I love. I'm okay with that. You know, everything is weird until it's not weird anymore, you know? So it's all good. So I need to sew this on to right here. And because it's paper, I can just fold it around it. So what this piece here does, I'm slamming this so that I can get the edges here tighter together. I can physically see where I need to place the signature on the page here because I drew a line. And again, if your pattern is fainter than this one's a little bit of a crazy type of pattern, but that's okay. I'm going to put my signature there, and then I'm going to drop it. And now what I also look for right here is that that the cover is basically looking the same on all sections. If it's not, I move it and I adjust it so that way it's kind of similar. See, this is the worst part about these. They all stick together. So let's pin these down. Put my camera a little bit more this way because I need it here. So again, I can physically see where the signature needs to be because I have nice dark markings there. And over here, I think we're good. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we are good. Okay. Everybody calm down. So let me go ahead and secure it a little bit more. So it makes me feel better. And I already had these big clips. Okay, so I want to put my sewing machine to the straight stitch, and I want to do Not the very longest setting. I used to do the longest setting, but actually I think I'm going to do about a 4. 5 is the longest, but I'm going to do about a 4. And if you must know, I have my tension set to 2.5. And I'm just using a regular needle, nothing crazy about my needle. And since I have my line drawn here down the middle, Vanessa, what's up, Vanessa? Then I know where I'm going to stitch. Okay, so I'm not afraid. Again, because I know the number of pages that I have is correct. I do a little bit of backhand stitching. See, this one's falling. That's fine. You could do that if you want. And I'm not, hang on. My thread pops out all the time on my sewing machine. But it's looking pretty good, and it's okay if this happens. It's just fine. No need to panic. But again, the key, honestly, to this technique with sewing your signatures in is to not add too many pages. So about 10 to 13 pages is ideal. Would not push it past that. Don't ask me how I know. Don't put your sewing machine through that. Okay, so I'm going to continue on here. My thread pops out, doesn't matter what project I'm doing, so just so you know, that's normal for me. And I'm not even pushing my sewing machine. See, it just popped out again. I'm not pushing my sewing machine through, which is good. It's just going on its own because it doesn't have too many pages. If you do too many pages, it will jam. It will jam. It might possibly shut down on you. I might tell you to shut it down. I've had that happen. But again, this is normal for me. This is not abnormal for me. For my thread to just pop out. Okay. Let's go. I'm not worried about it. Because in the end, I am going to be gluing this whole thing into a cover. So the thread securement is fine. It's fine. See? Let's get this out of here. And again, because I had a nice dark pencil line down the middle, I could see where I needed to sew. So there's my first signature. Now. Let me get all this off here. Okay. So now we're going to do technically the third signature. I do the third signature second and then the middle signature again. So do you lengthen your stitch? The stitch is 4. So I do lengthen it to a 4. I used to do it on the longest stitch, but because I thought anything less perforated, but it's good. It's fine. So there we go. We got our signature in. It's sewn in. It looks great. Again, you can, instead of adhering it to this paper, you can do cardstock, and then here is your journal right here. I've done a lot of journals like that. Nice and simple technique. And we are ready to go on the next one. So what we want to do, I'm going to pin this back like, you know, if you were getting your hair done, they pin it back. So I'm going to pin that back. So again, I'm going to do the third signature next. And you want to make sure and don't put your signature upside down. Don't do that. Not recommended. Don't do it. So there's a lot of checking on the pages for me with this technique. I have to check like 10,000 times. Okay, so again, just going through it one time, making sure all my pages are not upside down, I should say. Not upside down. You do not want your pages to be upside down. That would suck. Did I print this upside down? It could go this way, I suppose. We'll do that. That's fine. Because that would bother me if this was upside down. Okay, so again, make sure your pages are not upside down. Very important. I do this about 10 times, like I said, just to make sure. Okay, so again, the middle page, we're going to draw the line down the middle, trace the line down the middle, whatever you want to call it. And my pencil's pretty dull, but you could puncture this paper, so don't use a very sharp pencil. Okay. So let's pile, again, this is the size of my cover. So if you want to do this technique, you could do this with, and then just make this piece whatever size your cover is. This is just exactly the same size as my cover. And I'm going to put the pages here in the middle. See this dang doily, but that's okay. Normally, like I said, I glue it down so it doesn't move. I don't think the glue held with that one, but that's fine. And again, I'm holding it with a nice grip on this side with my fingers. All of my pages I print to 8 by 10 or smaller, are cut down to 8 by 10 or smaller. And then they are guaranteed to fit in my journal. Wait, I don't think I want that up there. I think I want this down here. Yeah, that looks nice. Thank you, Miss Patricia. Got a lot of writing space in these journals here. Lots and lots and lots. I'll put this one up here since I had that paper bag down there. Okay. Okay. And again, yeah, I do slap it down just to kind of make them all kind of compact here on the spine. And then I'm going to place this signature where I want it to go. And then we are going to drop it. Drop it. Okay, and again, I obsess over if it's right in the journal cover. So this is better. Okay. Now we get our paper clips. And we clip it into place. And now we are ready to sew it in. And let's go. Hello, Randy Rabbit. Okay, so I have my... Again, I got my sewing machine on straight stitch with a length of 4. I'm going to pull my thread because I think it's just because it's too small in the back. I don't know. I don't know. But let's try. And I do hold it right here in place where I want it to be so it doesn't move out of where it's supposed to end. And I don't go very fast. I actually go pretty slow with this. I have my straight stitch set to 4 length. And again, the key to this technique is not to add too many pages to your signature. So don't do that. 10 to 13 max. 10 to 13 max, you guys. Trust me. Ask me how I know, because I've been through it, okay? So that went very nice and smooth. And now we got our second signature in. And you could tell that I'm sewing it where I meant to. This one's off by just a tiny bit, but it's because I made my line just off by a tiny bit, but that's okay. Essentially, we are right on the money. So now we're going to do the middle signature. Okay, the middle signature. The middle signature does give me a little bit of trouble. And that's only because you got these two signatures kind of fighting it. And so it kind of lifts it. And then this part is kind of tough. I used to do it in sequence. And I used to struggle with the last two signatures. And so I decided to do it this way. And so I said, why struggle with two signatures? I could just struggle with one. So the middle one is a struggle. If you want to save yourself this trouble, only do two signatures or only do one signature. You could do the same thing. But I know how to handle it. Just kidding. I know how to handle the situation. Okay, okay. So let's do this one more time. Yes, I got my little coffee, if you want to call it that, because it's milk. It's coffee flavored milk. Okay. Listen. It's so cool to sew with the sewing machine. Yeah, I love it. I have, ever since I did this, like I said, I have not gone back. Okay, so I am tracing here my middle signature here. My piece of chipboard, handy dandy piece of chipboard. And I'm placing all my pages in the middle. Right here, right here, right here. Let's put the pages in the pages. Gotta have a nice little mix here. Hang on. And something is off, and I can tell it's off because things are not centered. Is this what's not centered? Okay. This is what, okay. Okay. We are good. We are getting there. And of course, I'm using a bunch of printables from my shop. If you guys don't know that, I have an Etsy store where I sell a couple of things. I have a couple of doodles. You want to check it out. Okay, so. Okay, I did end up doing the dots because on the red one, the dots are a little bit more prominent. And I was like, did I take those off? Did I do my, okay, it's fine. It's fine, Daisy. It's fine, Daisy. It's fine. Okay, so. Also, don't put too many things in the middle. Put some up here, put some down here. Don't put all the little things in the middle because that always gives you such a fat signature. Just a few. Just a few. Okay. All right. Here we go. Again, if you see me struggle with this middle signature, honestly, it's normal. It's a normal for both me and my regular life and with this junk journal tutorial. Again, if you don't want to struggle, just do two signatures. It'll save a lot of trouble. Or just do one signature. If you are okay with struggling a little bit, it is worth it. Okay, so again, I put a line here where my signature is supposed to be so I can see where it's supposed to go. And I'm lining it up. Oh, slam it for good luck. Okay. And then set it down. And you see right here, you can see a sliver of this other signature. That's because this one's not exactly in place, and we'll fix that. Let me clip it here. And let me put it over here. You scared me. You thought there was a bug, Jen. I am the bug. Okay, let me get this in place just because in my mind I need these to all line up nicely. In my mind, that matters. Okay. All right. So we are good. We are good to start sewing. Again, if you see me struggle, honestly it's normal. Honestly, it's quite normal with this middle signature. Okay, let's go. Let us continue. All right. Okay, this is not bad. This is good. The middle signature, I do have to kind of, I guess I don't. I just kind of, I'm putting a little bit of pressure right here so that it goes on to the next stitch. Oh, careful with this because it will make your machine go not straight. Again, I go slow. I'm not rushing it. There's no need to hurry. It's a nice day. I'm trying to keep my sewing machine motivated. Think of butter, very buttery movements. Okay, it's going good. It's going good. It's working. All right, horchata. Horchata don't let me down, okay? She don't let me down. Horchata is a good person. Okay, I'm going to back stitch a little bit, and then we're good. Okay, that was not a struggle at all. See what positive thinking does? A little bit of positivity. All right, that's all you need. All right, getting all the clips out. Getting the clips out the way. What are you, Rose? What state? I'm in Las Vegas. I am in Las Vegas, so I don't have snow. I don't have snow. I just look at videos of snow like, oh my God. I look at all the videos y'all snowed in like, oh my God. I don't know nothing about that, but it looks crazy. All right. See that it's struggled there. It always struggles with the middle signature. But you know what? Good news is the next step is actually to glue this into the cover. And I'm thinking, should I do that right now? Should I do that? I do kind of want to finish off the journal, I guess. And it is kind of a whole thing, though. Okay, so that is it. That's how I sew my signatures using my sewing machine. And I don't really panic about the stitches here in the back in the middle signature not looking the best because this is all going to get glued down. All of this is getting glued down, so it's not going anywhere. So, right, Patricia? Patricia feels the same way. It's like, oh, that's nice. I don't have to deal with it, but that's nice, I guess. I don't know why y'all deal with it. Okay, so this looks great. Should I glue this into the cover? Do I have a moment? Okay, okay, I'll do one. I'll do this one, okay? So now, let's get this cover glued into the outside cover. Let's do that. Let's just finish it off. I have time, so let's just do it. So, we need to glue this whole cover into this journal, and that's basically what finishes it all off. That makes it all one piece. Once this is in here, it's one and done. It's a cover. Okay, so let's do that because I have some time and desire to do it. Otherwise, honestly, I don't do all this stuff in one step. I take my sweet time. I take my sweet time with this process, especially this year. Last year I made a lot of journals, and that's great, but I don't want to strain myself too much. So I'm taking my time. Okay, so here's what we have. Okay. Here's what we have. This is a piece of parchment paper, obviously. And I use that to glue on top of. Okay, I need one more thing. Okay, not that. Okay, here it is. So basically, basically, I guess I can show you how I do this. I have this thing, okay? This is like a little protector that I made. It's basically like a little pocket made out of parchment paper. It's just the saddest thing that in the world, but it works. The way I made this is you can use parchment paper, or this is the other side of the heating bond. So the glue is on this side. Now it's all gone. Now I just have this piece of paper. So what you could do, lay it long ways like this. And then, where's my tape? Here's my tape. This is what, you have to be very, very careful to not get glue on your signatures. And it's a very easy thing to do. Very easy thing to do, unfortunately, to get glue on your covers. So you really want to take a couple steps to avoid that, because you work so hard on those covers trying to find another piece of parchment paper, but I don't see it. Okay, so let's just pretend. Okay, we'll pretend this is another piece of parchment paper. Okay, so just pretend this is another piece of parchment paper. Actually, it could, if this was, actually it's the same size, so maybe it'll work. So this is gonna go this way. This is gonna go here. It's just a piece of paper. I don't know if this will work. I assume it would. I put this over here like this, and you could use stronger tape. Over here I've used Tyvek, which is like the strongest tape you could buy. But you could just use regular tape. Wrap it around like this. Okay, this is insider tips right here. Professional tips. So now you have your signatures wrapped in this right here. And next what we're going to do is we're basically again, I should have cut this piece off. But we're going to wrap it around like this. And again, if you put stronger tape on it, you could keep reusing this. And this is just making like a little jacket for our signatures, so that way it doesn't get glue on it, because you do not want to get glue on your signature. You don't want to get glue on your lace. You don't want to get glue on your trim. You don't want to get glue anywhere near any of these inside papers. And again, this is a very, I'm just very careful not to get mess anywhere, because I like to have a nice professional final product. Okay, as much as I can, as whatever stretch of that word usage is. Okay. So I guess I'll just use this. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get glue all over here. And I even go even further. Okay, you guys, like I said, I'm crazy with this. I even add more paper. I even add more paper because I don't want to get glue anywhere near that, okay? I use a silicone brush, which you can get on Amazon or wherever. And I use Turbo Tacky glue, which actually right now I'm going to switch out for a full bottle because it just needs a full bottle. Let me switch it out with this one. What you gluing? I'm gluing this cover into this cover to make it one cover. That's what we're doing. Okay, where is the spout? Here it is. Now I have my wide mouth spout for this. That's why you see the W on there. This is Turbo Tacky glue. This is my favorite glue to use for pretty much all my junk journal stuff. I use it when I make embellishments. I use it to glue stuff to pages. And then I also use it to make my covers. So it's like my all-purpose adhesive for junk journaling. Other than slight bit of use of glue sticks and, of course, my heat bond, which is adhesive. This is my go-to. I get it at Walmart. You can also get it at on Amazon. At Walmart, it has this top, and at Amazon, it doesn't. Yeah, I call it wide mouth because I cut the little nub down to the bottom instead of at the very tip to make it narrow. So it has a wide spout for me. So that's why I have a W. Because I keep a wide and then a narrow for like embellishments and stuff. I love this glue so much. I have like a dozen a dozen of them. Okay, so again, this is just a piece of heat and bond. And again, more and further, keep it away from making a mess. Okay, so let's get our glue on here. All right. It's not a wide mouth. I just cut it down. For me, is my wide mouth bottle because I just keep reusing it. So you want to make sure you get glue in between these stitches right here. Glue. Get glue everywhere. But like I said, especially in between these stitches. All right. All up in the stitches. Okay. All right. I'm going to remove this, put this off to the side. Now what we're going to do, our inside cover here. Oh yeah, I got to decide which is my front cover, I guess. I think I want this one. I think. Okay. So let's put this. Again, I go very slowly. I want to make sure it's in the spot I want it to. So I go very slowly here. Again, trying not to get glue on the cover, so I got glue on my fingers. I gotta take that off first. So I don't want to get glue anywhere. I'm a little crazy with it, but again, I'm trying to have a very professional finish, you know? Okay. So now I want a little support back here. And what I want to do, my little bone folder, knife, whatever you want to call it. And I just want to make sure I'm pressing it nice and firm in here. So we get nice adhesion. And you can, before I send this off to anybody, I always run my finger through right here. And if it lifts off, I glue it. This is like very important to me to make sure all these edges are nice and glued. So that all this here makes good connection. Okay. Okay. Move it off to the side. And yeah. In the little gutter here, I want to make sure I go in this little gutter. That has the little fabric that goes in. Okay. So now, I have so much of this heat and bond material, I just keep pieces of it. So that one has glue on it, I grab another one. And I'm ready to go, okay? Okay. I know I came in late, but what is that piece you are gluing made out of? This right here is fabric and then paper, packing paper, which is basically a little bit thicker than tissue paper. Okay. So here we go. Gonna get glue on this side, gonna get glue on the spine. God, you are not stingy with glue. No, I am not. I want to make sure that has good adhesion. Also, you don't want to have too much glue, though. It's also very important not to have too much glue. Trust me, you don't want to have too much glue. Because, again, that makes a mess, and you don't want to make a mess. So it's a very fine line between enough glue and you don't want to get too much glue. Oh, right there, that was making me nervous. Okay. So spread it and forget it, okay? Again, you want to get in between these stitches here, in between the stitches. What is this? What is this? No. Oh my God. I didn't go live last week on Thursday or Friday because, let me tell you why. I bought a new drill because I'm an adult now. And so I need tools for the house, I guess, since I have a house now. So I bought a drill. We bought a drill. And I bought brushes for it because I wanted to wash my tub, and I always seen everybody talk about these brushes that you could buy for drills. And so I was excited. I ordered a brush set. I got the drill. And finally, on Thursday, I decided today is the day. Today is the day I'm going to clean my tub. Well, just holding the drill, it like strained my arm, and then my hand was just jelly. It was jelly Thursday and Friday up until about Saturday. It was jelly. I couldn't use my hand. So that's why I didn't go live Thursday or Friday. I was like, well, at least my tub is clean, but now I can't go live. Like, darn. But my tub is clean. But I didn't know how out of shape I was. You know, sometimes you realize you're so out of shape. Me trying to clean my tub, I was like, oh, why is this so hard? Okay. We're making a mess here, but I need to get glue up in here. All up in here. On the spine. That's the spine right there. Okay. Okay, let's glue it down. Let me get this glue off my hands. I know, it was harsh. It was hard. It was hard. Okay. So here is this side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure the jacket is nice and down because that actually kind of holds it up, right? Somehow. I also get something up here to kind of help me hold it up. And then we are going to place this where we want it to be. And okay, and that's where we want it to be. So let me get more glue off my fingers. Now the jacket is in place. And I want to make sure get this to make good contact with the glue, with the chipboard, with the fabric paper. I should have maybe pulled it a little bit. No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Okay, so now I do go in here in the little crease. Go in the crease. Now, to finish this off, open it up. Now what we need to do is in between the signatures, you also want to go in with the butter knife. With the butter knife. You want to make sure you press out all the extra glue here. but also that helps it make contact, and you want to make sure and go right up against your signature, so that up against your signature makes contact with the chipboard as well. Sometimes that part gets missed and it bubbles up, kind of. It's not the worst thing, but it does happen. And it bothers me, so I notice now and I try and make sure that doesn't happen. So here's my other signature. Again, next to the signature. And then next to this signature. And here as well. Okay, so now the cover does need to dry, obviously. So what I like to do is I like to have this dry straight up like this with the signatures up. And so I'm going to clip them together. That way they stay up high like that. And then to finish it, I get regular size paper clips. Regular size paper clips. The inside cover tends to lift right here, if you can tell. Kind of lift it up a little bit. So I use my fingers and then also these paper clips to hold it. So hold it down on each side of the signature. Hold it down. And then that pretty much takes care of that problem. Like that. Okay, and the other side as well. And then we're done. I am done for tonight. I'm doing 3 of these. Somehow they're not. No, yeah, they're fine. I was going to say they're not in the middle, but just slightly off. But I'll live with that. You see how this one's just a little bit off? Right? It's fine with me. I'll live. I'll live. Okay, you guys. So I'm going to let this dry pretty much overnight. Longer if you want to. Overnight is ideal. And that is it for me tonight, showing y'all this technique that I do pretty much all the time. This is how I do all of my journals, 100% of the time. And it works out for me. So I just let it dry, just like this, pretty much, just like this. Let it dry. The covers tend to warp a little bit, but you just work them, and they'll straighten up. They'll straighten out. Once it's dry, it looks good. So that is it for me tonight. Miss Gigi in digital meeting with a break now. Just want to say hi. Hi, Miss Gigi. We are done. My journal is complete. It is inside its cover the way I wanted it to be. That's the front of it. And that's how I sew my signatures in with my sewing machine. So, hi, Janet. Welcome. So I hope everybody found this video informational to some degree. If you did, please make sure to give me a little thumbs up, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want more junk journal videos. I pretty much show you all what I'm doing here in my little craft studio and what I'm doing. It's all junk journal related, so if that's what you're into, please do subscribe. I hope everybody has a good night, and again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see y'all tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be doing something else, probably working on embellishments because I need to make my embellishments. So I hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.